Hey everybody, it's Johnny with Bound for Adventure. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm up at Rabbit Ears Pass in a really good snowstorm, and I am going to be reviewing the Big Agnes Shield 2 right there. That's right. It is a 4-season mountaineering tent, and you guys are really going to like this. The way it's snowing out here today, I'm going to be really glad that I've got the Shield 2 by Big Agnes tonight for sure. I mean, it is really coming down. So driving up Rabbit Ears Pass, it was just about a whiteout. Check this out. All right, it is a total whiteout coming up here to Rabbit Ears Pass. I'm going like 12 miles an hour. Got cars in front of me, you can hardly see them. So it's going to be a great day and night to test the Big Agnes Shield 2 4-season mountaineering tent for sure. Yeah, so everybody in Steamboat, I'm sure, is super excited not to go winter camping like me, but to get on the mountain. It's going to be an epic powder day tomorrow because of all this snow. So, all right, for those of you that don't know about Big Agnes is a fantastic company that makes world-class tents and sleeping bag and winter apparel, and you got to check them out. Go to bigagnes.com. So I'm reviewing the Big Agnes Shield 2 mountaineering tent. I'll be using my Big Agnes sleep system bag, which is the Blackburn UL 0 degree down sleeping bag. Click the link below and it'll take you right to that review. And it'll also let you know about my whole sleep system. The air pad, the foam pad, the bag, everything. You'll really like that. So check that out for sure. Stay tuned to the end of the video and I'm gonna give you some pro tips on winter camping. These tips can really make it a lot more comfortable. And you know what? That's what winter camping is all about. Trying to be comfortable in very adverse conditions. And I love doing it. I don't know why. Some people think I'm crazy, but I just love winter camping. So, okay everybody, I'm inside the tent. It goes up really nice and easy. It's only 2 poles with a little cross member, so it's like 2.5 poles. Here's a little time lapse of me putting it up. The battery did go dead just when I got done with the main tent. I did not get the time lapse of the vestibule, but I'll have a picture at the end of the time lapse of the tent with the vestibule. So here it is. So the first thing you're going to notice inside this tent is it's kind of dark. That's because of the 3-layer waterproof breathable fabric. It's red on the outside, so it's not real bright inside, which is kind of nice. You know, a lot of times when you're winter camping, you get stuck in a storm or something and it's light out, you want to take a little nap. Well, it's so bright with a normal tent, this is going to allow you to sleep a little bit, so I kind of like that. So the 3-layer fabric is designed to manage moisture inside the tent, and I heated up, once I got everything set up, I heated up some water on my jet boil and had a little cup of soup, and it was pretty amazing. A normal tent, a regular tent, would just be full of condensation, and I can feel it right now. The tent feels really dry. So that's pretty impressive. So I'm going to go over some of the features of the tent. It was cold outside. My hands were getting really cold, so I just took some pictures outside. But let's start with the tent body itself. It's really cool. It is a sleeve design. The tent does have the DAC super lightweight pole system. They call that the NSL pole system. Really, really simple to put together. Of course, you've got the grommets in each corner. You just put the end of the pole in and it went up really, really well. So it's 2 main poles, a crisscross, an X design. And then up front, there's one little pole that clips into 2 little plastic clips that spreads it out in the front. Really, really easy to put in, and just a couple little plastic clips. There are multiple clips on the outside below the sleeves to clip onto the pole system too. One of the things I really like about this tent are the really big stakeout loops, because when you're winter camping, you're not going to use a tiny little tent stake like we do in the summertime. What I did, I went over to a tree that had a bunch of dead branches, broke off some sticks, basically some good sized sticks, and you're able to just put them right through those oversized loops. Really, really easy. So the tent is 28 square feet, which it's a little small. 2 people, yes, you could have 2 people in here, but there's not a lot of room to move around, or definitely not any room to cook, but you could do that in the vestibule. Now the vestibule is sold separately, so if you didn't have the vestibule and you had 2 people, you really don't have much room. 1 person in this, you got tons of room. I would definitely suggest the vestibule just to keep your gear out of the elements, really. I'm able to put my pack in there no problem, and that's really nice. So this is a really neat feature. You got a clear window. If you don't use the vestibule, that clear window would give you access to outside, so you could see what the weather was doing. Once again, this fabric is really cool. I mentioned earlier that I made some soup, and it is just dry, bone dry to the touch, so that moisture management fabric that they're using really works well. So we've got gear pockets over here, 2 in the front. I'm going to call this the front where the door is. They're kind of like a triangular corner pocket. I've got a magazine in that one, some paper towels in a bag, my extra balaclava, some hats, my cup. So plenty of room in those pockets. You've got these gear loops that you could hang stuff from too. Shooting up at the top of the tent, you've got 2 mesh pockets up top, which is really nice. And you've got these vent windows. Again, it's all about moisture, controlling that moisture. You can reach your hand through, open up a Velcro vent, and there's a little pole that will Velcro into place and hold that vent open. So that's really nice to keep the tent ventilated. So turn around back. We've got more loops to hang stuff from. I imagine you could put another gear, kind of like a pocket type deal. This little piece of fabric that you see from the inside, that is a heavy duty tie down on the outside. So if it's blowing and just crazy outside, you stake this down, it's gonna really, really hold up well. So the floor is a bucket style floor made out of really tough nylon with a polyurethane coating. All the seams, of course, are taped with polyurethane tape. Really, really well done. You're gonna stay super dry in this tent, as long as you keep the snow out. I got a little snow in over there by my boots. I like to keep my boots inside. In the morning when I get up, I can fire up the jet boil, turn my boots upside down, and just put a little heat inside. So the Shield 2 weighs in at 3 pounds 12 ounces, which for a 4-season 2-person tent is really lightweight. I mean, it was really nice having such a nice lightweight tent to pack in here. It is a 28 square foot tent. That's not huge for 2 people, but you can definitely pull it off. Okay, if you're looking for a burly 4-season mountaineering winter camping tent, if you get the Shield 2 from Big Agnes, you're going to be really happy with it. and this tent is going to last you a long time. It's just quality through and through. You know, no surprise. I don't expect anything less from Big Agnes. Once again, everybody, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed yet, please do. We really appreciate that. Hit that bell notification. It'll let you know when we put out our next video. And now, those pro tips for winter camping. Let's talk about being comfortable in some really adverse conditions. Number 1, hand warmers and toe warmers. Do not be a tough guy. Hand warmers and toe warmers are the bomb. I didn't use them for a long time until Deb started using them, and she told me about them, and she said, I love them. They keep my toes so warm. I put them in my glove. I'm like, no, I don't need that. And then I tried it once. I put them in my ice climbing boots every time I go ice climbing. And there's 2 ways you can do it. You can put them on the bottom, so all that heat is penetrating up. If it's not super cold, I'll put them on the top of my sock, on the top of my foot, which is really nice. You're still getting some heat, but you don't feel it when you walk on them. I don't really like the feeling of toe warmers when you walk on them, so you can put them on the top and get almost as much heat as if they're on the bottom. They'll really keep your toes warm. When it comes to gloves, I try to get a glove big enough so I can put one on the top of my hand inside the glove. If you're heating the top of your hand, that blood flow is going into your fingers, and it's just going to recirculate that really nice warm blood. So toe warmers and hand warmers are an absolute must for winter camping. You can get the bigger body warmers and throw one of those down in your sleeping bag at night. And I'm telling you what, sometimes you'll have to take it out. It'll actually get warm. So you can increase your sleeping bag degree rating probably by 10 to 20 degrees. That is no kidding. It really works well. Think about it. They're just putting off heat in there, and I'll throw it down by my feet, and my feet are toasty all night long, and it just helps keep you warm for sure. Pro tip number 2, make sure you always bring clothes to change into, because if you're hiking up a hill or you're snowshoeing, you're cross-country skiing, and you work up some perspiration, some sweat, you do not want to go to sleep damp. So you always have to bring, I just call them sleeping clothes. First of all, I like nice clean sleeping clothes to keep my sleeping bag nice and clean and smelling good. If you wear your sweaty clothes, even if you dried out, you're still putting all that sweat into your sleeping bag. So I like to keep my sleeping bag nice and fresh. So always bring clean, dry sleeping clothes. When you're winter camping, that's probably, like, I brought 3 different beanies with me. The beanie I wore coming out here just got all ice encrusted. I should have had my hood up to try not to get it that bad, but you're gonna get wet. You're gonna get snow on you when it's snowing like it is today. So always bring extra beanies, an extra pair of socks or 2. It's just very, very important to always be as dry as you possibly can. I always bring a puffy down coat with me too, because when I stop moving, I want to, not get cold. So you stop moving and you're a little damp, you're going to get cold. A nice down puffy coat will do that for you for sure. Pro tip number 3. When you pack your backpack, you don't want a lot of loose items in your bag. I suggest putting them in some sort of like sleeping bag, storage bag. This is my Big Agnes sleeping bag, storage bag. Because here's what happens. Like, it was snowing like crazy when I got here today, and you don't want to open up your backpack and like take out all these little individual items that you're either going to lose in the snow or they're going to get all snow covered. Put everything in a bag like that, so when you go to set up your tent, you grab one bag out, everything's out, then you get to your tent and it's right there. You're not going to lose anything and you're ready to roll. So don't have a bunch of loose items in your backpack that you have to deal with. Just have everything in a bag that can move around in your pack and stuff like that, and you'll be really happy. Well, hey, I hope these pro tips will help you the next time you go winter camping. And if you haven't been winter camping, get out there, do it. It's fun. The most important thing you have to have is a good sleeping bag. I prefer down because of the lightweight and the warmth, but you can go synthetic. Some of the synthetics are great. If you have a good sleep system, and check out the Big Agnes sleep system because it doesn't get any better than that. If you have a good sleep system and a tent, you can be very comfortable in these crazy adverse conditions. So get out there, get active, and remember, everything's better when you're bound for adventure. Peace out. Hey everybody, good morning. It's about 7:30 and got down to -3 last night. And my sleeping bag is a 0-degree sleeping bag, but I was really toasty. Thanks to these guys. So this is the large size. They call that a body warmer. And I've got a pair of fairly snug fleece bottoms on. I just stuck those down in those pants. Oh my gosh, oh, they are toasty warm. And I mean, I was downright warm. It was awesome. I am eating one of my Mountain House breakfast skillet breakfast, get some warm fluids in me, and it's really good. So yeah, those pro tips, they really do help. They're just little things that over the years of winter camping I found work really well. I do have the jet boil running in the tent, and it just warms it up. I mean, it's still 0 degrees outside right now, and it's really toasty in here, and it's helping dry. There's a little bit of moisture on the inside, so that'll help warm that up and loosen that up. We'll get rid of that too. The lure of winter camping for me is just that. It got really cold last night, and I stayed comfortable. You know, to be able to do that is, I mean, it's just really fun for me. I know some people think it's crazy, but it's nice getting away. It was so quiet last night. It started off really windy, and then it just got really quiet. You just, every once in a while, you'd hear the wind come over the trees, and I just love that kind of stuff. So get out there, get active. This is what life's all about, you know. Having fun, de-stressing. Not that I have a lot of stress in my life. So yeah, until next time, everything's better when you're bound for adventure. All right, camp is all packed up, and it's time to head back to the Jeep. Go have a cup of coffee with Deb. So it is just absolutely beautiful out here, guys. This is up at Rabbit Ears Pass, at the Fox Curve parking area, snowshoeing, cross-country skiing. There's no snowmobiles, which is really nice, so you get the peace and quiet. Yeah, it's just a beautiful area to get away to, and it's only, gosh, 10-15 minutes outside of Steamboat Springs. Okay, so this is the trail that I busted in yesterday. It did quit snowing not too long after I got up here, but I'm sure there's people out there that, you know, are curious. Do you really need snowshoes? Let me go over here, give you an idea of how much snow. So if I didn't have these snowshoes on, I would sink up to my crotch if I just had boots on. So snowshoes are absolutely a necessity in deep snow like this. And there was our camp spot right there. That was awesome, with all the big trees around. Every once in a while I'd hear this poof, big chunks of snow falling off the trees. So stay tuned for our future videos. Deb and I are going to come out and we're going to build a snow cave, and we're going to sleep in a snow cave. So that'll be pretty interesting for sure. So I got just away from my camp back there. Trail was completely covered, and all the way back, it's gonna be really deep snow. So I'm gonna lose the down jacket, put my shell back on, and probably got a good half hour, 35 minutes back to the Jeep through this deep snow. So I'm gonna be sweating a little bit, I think. Okay.